Concerning the question that has to do with what is the difference between identity card in Italy and the permit of stay, that is la residenza and permesso di soggiorno. The difference is very big, and I wish a lot of people would take cognizance of this. The carta d'identità is issued to you by the local council where you are actually resident in Italy. Meanwhile, your residence permit is issued to you by the immigration authority here in Italy. The difference is that your means of identification as far as the Italian national government is concerned is your permit of stay, which is your permesso di soggiorno. And meanwhile, for the local council in which you are resident, their carta d'identità serves as what I would consider as a means to know how many people are actually resident in that particular local council, and it gives you the possibility to access the local welfare services in the local council where you are resident. What do I mean with this? If you are resident in local council A, officially, if you need any help from the society, where you are supposed to go as in your point of reference should be local council A, not local council B. So you can be resident in local council A and you go to access welfare services in local council B. For you to be able to access welfare services in local council B, you have to have transferred your resident from council A to council B. That is what resident allow you to do, like access to school services for children and what have you. Then you should be aware that for Italians as in citizens, they are able to travel within the European Union with their identity card, but it is not granted to foreigners that right to be able to travel within the European Union with just the identity card. I know you may be saying right now, you know a lot of people that do travel with the identity card. They do it, it does not mean that it is the right thing to do. Because if you look at your identity card right now issued to you by a local council in Italy, as a foreigner, it is written on it explicitly that it could not be used as an expatriate. So you can't use it in the place of passport in another European country. So others do it does not mean that it is right. And I'm here to tell you that at times even people that travel with just the identity card are returned back home at the border during control. So get that in mind. It is not a means of, it is not a means of traveling document for you as a foreigner in Italy. As a foreigner, if you want to travel within the European Union or back home to your country, you are expected to always be with your national passport, your permit of stay, and if you wish, your identity card. But it's not the most relevant thing or relevant means of traveling document for you as a foreigner. Then another thing that I want you to consider as well is that although your identity card issued by a local council here in Italy may be valid for 10 years, it does not mean that automatically that identity card validity will be up to that 10 years. Because oftentimes your permit of stay is connected to your identity card, and that has to do with your health insurance card as well, which is called tessera sanitaria. When your permit of stay expires, your health insurance or tessera sanitaria expires as well. And at the same time, even your resident in your local council expired, though the identity card validity, as you may have seen, will have been 10 years. And I explain why. Because when your permit of stay expired, everything that connects you to the Italian Republic expired as well. Because if you do not have permit of stay, automatically you don't even have the right to to be resident in that local council. So whenever you do a renew, your permit of stay starts again. Your health card, your health insurance, station sanitary, you have to go to the health authority to renew it. At the same time, you are expected to go to your local council to update your juridical status, your immigration status in Italy. But most people don't do it because oftentimes it's not what they look into. But the law, the rules that governs it is that whenever you renew your document, you go back to your local council to update them, to update your stay in the local council as well. It is very, very important. I have assisted some people that happens to go to a particular local council where they are resident. Upon getting there, although they have a new permit of stay with them, the officer in that local council, in the commune, will tell them that, look, your permit of sojourn is expired. We have to renew it, we have to update it there and then. It has not happened to you, does not mean that that is not how things go in Italy. So whenever you renew your permit of stay, it is expected of you to renew your health card, as you know already, and it is also expected of you to go to your local council where you are resident to renew or update your juridical status with that local council. That is how it is. What I really want you to get out of this message is this: your identity card, although issued to you by a local council in Italy, is not a means of traveling document, neither in Europe nor in going to your country. For you to travel within the European Union or the Schengen area, it is expected of you to have your national passport with you, your valid permit of stay, and your identity card if you wish. One. Then another important thing that I would like you to understand as well is that whenever you are required by the local authority, police, immigration officer, or whoever it is in Italy, as your means of identification, officially is not your identity card, la residenza. No, your means of identification is your permit of stay that allows you to live in Italy. I don't know if any of you would have had an experience like this. You meet a police officer or an immigration officer, he asks you for identification, you give them carta d'identità that is still valid. They will tell you, no, this is not an identification that they need from you, they need your permit of stay. Because why? Your permit of sojourn, it is what permits you to stay, live, work here in Italy. Meanwhile, the identity card issued to you by your local council is not what authorizes you to live here in Italy. So there are two different things entirely. You can go to an office, they ask you for identification. What they expect from you is your permit of stay. Yes, I know that in some offices, it is sufficient enough for you to show them your identity card. But when it comes to the police, the immigration office, and some things that you need to do in this society, your means of identification, which they call documento di riconoscimento, is your permit of stay or your national passport. Except that there are some things that you want to do, you will not be able to do it. That is what I want you to get out of this message today. Until next time, bye for now. Ciao.